Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Superintendent Martin Weeks, Head of Community Policing, and I'll be the officer in overall command of the police operation for the Cup Match long weekend. I'd like to take this opportunity to advise the public on a number of matters to ensure a peaceful and safe time during this year's Cup Match. And the purpose of this press conference obviously is to flesh out some of the details of how we'll be policing the Cup Match long weekend using high visibility patrols and our partner agencies in the Ministry of Public Safety, the Bermuda Reserve Police and the Bermuda Regiment. I'd like to reassure the public that we will be out in force, as we always are, for the big major event weekends of the season. You will see a lot of high visibility patrols in and around not only the St. George's area but also the other big events that are planned, all with the view to making Bermuda safer. In line with our strategic intent of guns, gangs, drugs reduction, we will be intent on deterring those members of the public that might seek to disrupt the holiday weekend with acts of violence and criminality. Patrols will be paying particular attention to incidents of public disorder, antisocial behaviour and weapons possession. These persons who are not deterred by the presence of the police and commit these offences can expect to be promptly arrested and delivered to the courts. In response to the positive feedback that we got last year for our patrols with the Bermuda Regiment, particularly around the Cup Match game, we will again be partnering with them and the Reserve Police in our patrols, both at the game and on the water. Again, we'll be doing high visibility patrols inside the grounds and outside the grounds, and you will see more patrolling officers and less people on static positions this year, with the view to giving people more reassurance that we're going to be there when we're needed. We'll also be working with other agencies outside of our ministry, such as parks, and of course the various security agencies that are going to be involved down at the game and also at the other big events throughout the island. We will of course be utilising CCTV, both in the city area and at the grounds, and I'm sure Mr. Painter from the Cricket Club will explain more about the CCTV that will be going on within the Cricket Club itself. Road traffic will of course be an issue around the St. George's area, as always is. There's only limited parking. Tiger Bay area at the moment is not available for parking due to the concert that night. I understand it's possible the shuttles will be run from Kinley Field Road, but I understand more information will be coming out around parking for the area. But it is safe to say that there will be some traffic issues around the St. George's area during the Cup Match period, and anyone who has to go to other events around there will need to leave earlier in order to get through that traffic. The Bermuda Police Service will of course do our best to cause as minimum disruption to the motoring public as can be done in order to get everyone in and out of the game. The marine environment is of course a busy place for us during Cup Match weekend, much as it is for May 24th. We will have combined patrols of the Regiment, the Reserve Police and the Bermuda Police Service out on the water, and you can expect to see visible patrols. And please, I'd like to make sure that we remind the public to carry the necessary safety equipment and to make sure, of course, that you have a 2013 decal on your boat if you want to avoid getting stopped and pulled over by our patrols and getting unnecessary tickets. So please make sure that when you do go out in your boat, you file a float plan and you make sure you've got all the necessary equipment. Loud music is another issue that the Bermuda Police Service will be no doubt having to deal with during the Cup Match period, and we'd ask that everybody think about what you're doing here, not only the people who are playing the music but also the people who are obviously having to listen to it. We understand that it's a party weekend and there is going to be a lot of parties going on, but what we ask is that people use a little common sense, be nice to your neighbours and keep the music down to a reasonable level. And we also ask some indulgence on behalf of those neighbours that you're not calling police unnecessarily. Obviously if it gets too loud and it's too late, then we do expect you to call us, but we would ask that people in the spirit of neighbourliness indulge that this is a party season. The other big area that I would like to touch on today is crime prevention. We've had some issues in the last few weeks, and perhaps it's because of the heat and the extra hot weather that we seem to be experiencing. People have been going out, leaving their houses insecure, windows and doors open in order to allow fresh air to come into the house. But what has happened, of course, is that when they've got home, they found that they have been broken into and that property has been stolen. So we would encourage everybody over the long weekend, particularly if you're going out camping and you're going to be away from your house, or if you're going to any of the events, to please think about crime prevention, keep your house locked up, make sure everything's secure, and the same also with your bikes and cars. We've had a few cases lately where people have left their bikes with the keys in just to go for a few minutes, and unfortunately there's people out there who will take the opportunity and take your bike and even take your car if you're silly enough to leave it with those keys in. So again, we advise caution on behalf of the motoring public and the residents of Bermuda that you think about crime prevention during this party weekend. My final message is to encourage everyone to exercise patience, tolerance, caution, and to help the Bermuda Police Service to do our job this weekend. We appeal to the public, and particularly those persons in the community who are involved in violent crime or have friends and family involved in these crimes, to think about the Cup Match holiday and what it means to their community, and to not spoil these events for the whole community. On behalf of the Commissioner of Police, I wish the entire community a pleasant, enjoyable and safe Cup Match weekend. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and the Bermuda public. On behalf of the Bermuda Road Safety Council, we take this opportunity to wish everyone a happy Cup Match period when it comes. But our main message for this Cup Match period is care, caution, and be courteous on the road. We understand, and we truly understand, that we are asking for you to be more tolerant on the road. People will make mistakes, but it's up to us that are driving to keep the next person in mind. This year, our message is very simple. Accidents will happen, but remember this year that when you're thinking about your driving, when you're thinking about the next person, remember, if you're not thinking about your driving the way you should be thinking, it can cause a collision. So this year, we're asking you to take your time, don't drink and drive, stay focused on your driving, and remember the next person. We said over the past month that is our aim to educate the public. So today, we're educating you again. Think, choose, and live. Make a choice, because that choice you make might be your own. So this year, the Road Safety Council wants you to take your time during this holiday. If you're going to drink, don't drive. At the end of the message, we want to see everyone have a safe and happy holiday and come out of this particular holiday well and alive and having a good time. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. COP's message this year is really no different from its previous years. A, B, C, D. Always bus, cab, or designated driver. COTA would also like to remind parents that it is unlawful to provide alcohol to children under the legal age of 18. It is a scientific fact that to give a child alcohol before the age of 15 allows them to become 4 times more likely to become addicted to alcohol and/or drugs. COTA's Let Us Drive program will be available this weekend, and it is worth noting that to date, the Let Us Drive program has taken home 9,439 passengers since its inception. This is in no small part due to the support of our primary sponsors, Bacardi, Gosling's, Boris Library Corporation, Hamilton, and Fairmont Hotels. You will notice as you're starting to drive around that you see the COTA banners going up on the street. Hopefully again, A, B, C, D. Always bus, cab, or designated driver. The buses will be running on the Sunday schedule. And at this point in time, I would like to wish Bermuda and all of its residents a happy Cup Match weekend, and once again this year, a victorious Somerset. Thank you.
Thank you for that part and shot, Mr. St. Tucci. Good morning, Bermuda. St. George's Cricket Club would first like to welcome everyone to the East End for what we expect to be an exciting and 2 good days of cup match. But there are some things that we would like to educate the public on that's going to be happening at our grounds. As in previous years, our gates will be open up at 6:30 a.m. We will be having searches at the gate with detection devices to screen individuals. So what we're asking you to is to get there as early as possible. Please be patient, because everything that we have put in place for you is for your visiting public safety. We will have 2 gates, which will be our northern entry as well as our southwestern entry. We will be having CCTV cameras throughout the grounds. That includes inside the building, in the outskirts, as well as inside the crown and anchor table. And all this is for the visiting public safety. We at St. George's Cricket Club welcome you down, as I said earlier, and we would hope that the public comes down to enjoy themselves and what I know to be a St. George's victory. Thank you. Okay, what we ask is that you bring yourself and a good time. You're not allowed to bring alcoholic beverages in. You may bring bottled water. You may not be any bladed articles, obviously any no guns, anything like that, because there will be searches at the gate. That is basically it.
Absolutely. We'll obviously be bringing out, all the officers from office jobs and such like. Everyone will have a role to play over the long weekend. There will be a lot of events, both on the water and on land, but we have, plans for each one of them, and we will have the necessary police officers out there to deal with anything that we may come across.
Already stop and search, you have checkpoints throughout.
We will, of course, be exercising our powers to prevent violence and to search people for weapons and stuff like that are given to us, and they will be exercised where it becomes necessary to do so, yes.